Why, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, everyone. Paul Trani here, greeting you this morning with some fun lights and some coffee. So this is good. Steve, what's up, man? Good to see you. Mike, Frank, Annika, Afroja, awesome. Fantastic. Hello, everyone. Let's make sure this is working everywhere. And I think we are good. So thanks so much for joining me today. We're going to get into creating metallic effects. It's going to be really fun. Into this, so we're just going to have some fun. And thank you so much, Annika, for saying that. Audio and video are good. That's always good to hear. Actually, I absolutely love it. So just double checking my settings. And I will be sharing my screen in a second. And yeah, cool. All right, cancel that. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into this. Thank you so much for joining me today, people. So yeah, this is fun. We got some fun things planned over the next week, just so you know. So I'm super excited about it. And yeah, I'm glad you guys are here. So say hello. All right, got our coffee, got my 2 coffees. We're going to be playing with, sort of making things look metallic, as you may or may not know. Like this is currently my favorite font. It might be a little intense. We can always go with some other things, but let's just kind of dive into and just having some fun. And not only using text, but also using other content like images. So that's the plan. Yes, I am excited. Going to FITC, which is in Toronto in a couple weeks. Probably going to be here before I know it, which is always fun. So yeah, I got to go ahead and get that talk ready. How about that? So right in here, you can search for anything you want. I use plugins a fair amount, at least for finding photos. Just makes it kind of easy. I'm doing a search now. Might be able to find some cool ones. Some of these already have kind of a look established. And let's see what we can get here. Let's download this image and this one. So this is just free stock search too. I also have stuff in my library. And yeah, that's kind of how I work. So we can jump in here. I have this people category. Let's twirl that down. And I can grab any one of these images as well. So we could have fun with an eye, for instance, too. There we are. Look at that. Or even this image. So let me just grab a couple images. Come on. Let's give it a second. It's doing its job. Want to say hello. And yeah, let me know how you guys are doing. Susan and Carol, everyone. What is going on? Okay, so it doesn't really want to open that image. That is okay. We're going to start with just a couple of these. So these are just resources for you. Also, I should be able to... This is kind of hidden, just so you know. Over here in your libraries panel, first off, you could search all libraries. I just want to find, something like abandoned house, right? So I'll search on that. Nothing comes up because nothing's in my library. But what I can do is I can go inside of one of these libraries. Once I'm inside that library, you have this drop down. And this drop down, you can switch to Adobe Stock. I'm not sure why that's not on like the main menu, but now I can search for, let's just search for Galaxy, something cool and shorter. And now I have these Galaxy images that I can go ahead and open up and use and all that good stuff. So anyways, that's how you get to Adobe Stock from within Photoshop. So we have not left Photoshop, and we're just kind of grabbing what we want for this particular design. Hopefully you're into it. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm just going to grab a couple images because I can. There we go. And this one. Maybe this one here. Oh yeah, so many cool images. Yeah, this is going to be fun. So we have some of our imagery, and then we have our text. So let's do this. Oh yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day. It is St. Patrick's Day, isn't it? Oh man, and I am not wearing green. I could fix that. Now it's kind of like I'm wearing green. A little splash of green light. Why not? All right, here we are. We have this text, metallic. And let's do something else. Let's do, we'll do just a different word. Just a cooler word, astral. I don't really know what it means, but it just sounds cool. Bropella's not a bad font, so shall we go with it? So let's go ahead and we're going to make this metallic. Cool. We're going to make it metallic. First thing I want to do is add some adjustment layers. Excuse me, not some adjustment layers, some layer styles. Let's double click right in here. Boom. Open this up. Throw a gradient over the top. And this is the thing. You don't want it to be any color. Just it's going to go from black to white. So we'll open that up and apply it in a second. Joanna, happy St. Patrick's Day. My brain is not working, but Bropella is a cool font, isn't it? Totally into it. Okay, so we'll go with this gradient. By the way, we can make this the default or reset to the default, which is kind of cool. So I just made it my default. Notice what I have going on here is like reflected. So typically it's set to linear. Right? So you can see that right there, set to linear. It'll typically, this is kind of the default. But I need a large span of grays. I need a ton of grays in here. That's all you need to know. Let's throw some bevel and emboss in there, right? Here's my bevel and emboss. I already have this kind of set up really cool, by the way, because it's already doing some cool stuff. So let's just reset that back to the default. Keep in mind, I'm in bevel and emboss. And let me stop zipping around the screen because it's hurting my eyes. And let's take this text. So for this text, bevel and emboss, inner bevel, we could crank that up. But the big thing is using gloss contour. I personally like using gloss contour in here. We'll give it some ridges. As you give it these sort of peaks and valleys, it's going to start to make it look metallic. All right, so that's the big thing. Joanna, your birthday is April Fool's Day, or are you fooling us? That's fascinating. That's awesome. So that's what's happening here, right? So it's actually giving me that metallic look, but this is really only the beginning, okay? So we have that. Let's actually increase the size. And we just get more drama going on. Just a lot more drama. Let's take the opacity down. But you can kind of see how you get this like metallic look, right? I'm going to take it to the next level, just so you know. I kind of just like something like that. All right, we'll click OK. We'll jump that layer just to duplicate it. We're going to take this and we're going to throw another filter on top of it. And maybe we will change the background too. Is that okay? Let's get a fun background. Is that too hard on your eyes? Is that better? Something like that? All right, we'll take this. We'll go to Filter, and we'll go down to Filter Gallery. And it's going to ask us to convert it to a smart object if you didn't already. Open this up, and let's take a look at all of these properties in here for my filter gallery. There actually is something called Chrome in here. So it's just a matter of finding it. Where are you, Chrome? And there's a plastic bag. So those are the two that I typically use to make something, to give something a cool look. If you can't find it in this list, oh, here it is. Here's Chrome. So we see Chrome over here, right? Kind of hard to spot. You also have this drop down. So this is just an easy, I can just jump directly to C and find Chrome. So that's an easy way to find things. Good old 90s bevels. That's right. So I'm applying that Chrome, and look what it does. It really messes with us a lot. So you can add more smoothness, more detail, less smoothness, less detail. But this is what it's giving me, this sort of look. So I'm going to click OK, because this is already getting pretty intense. Let's go into that smart object by double clicking. I'm going to go into this effect. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and give this a regular bevel. Right? So that's what I'm doing, just giving it this, I even need to soften it up like this. So this is going to work even better when I start applying Chrome and that plastic bag effect. Let's save it. Let's close it. Now when we go back, see what it's done. It's actually made it look, I think, much better, but it still needs more contrast. So we'll jump in here. We have our Chrome. We could add more detail, and it's just a matter of playing with these. And you can stack them. So right in here, I want to actually use plastic wrap. So I'm going to click here, right down here at the bottom, and to add another Chrome, but then I'm going to change Chrome to plastic wrap. So now we have plastic wrap, which gives it this. See this right in here? See, let's kind of take that down. See, that's the plastic wrap kind of coming through. So it gives it this white on top of it and just an added element ultimately, which is nice. What I wish I could do, Marsha and Steve and everybody, is I wish I could tint this. I wish I had color control in here. I think that would be nice. But we're going to do that in a second. Now we have something like much more sort of liquidy, chrome-like in this case. And then it's just a matter of playing with these effects. Even my gradient overlay, I might scale that up. So basically I'm getting rid of some of that white because it's a little bright. So we'll save that, we'll close that, and that's looking a little bit better. Okay, we're gonna still have some fun with this. Is there a Tupperware one? No, just plastic. It's a recycled plastic, by the way, so we don't have to worry. Let's scale this up just to really see it in its full glory. Right, there it is. And now we're going to start pushing things around, which will be cool. And maybe I'll drop the opacity of the background. Try to make it easy for you guys to see this. Hey, yo, you know what we'll do? Let's throw a gradient back there. Maybe that's a little easier. Okay. All right, let's kind of morph this around, just like have some fun with it, shall we? So to do that, we'll go to filter. You know what I'm going to do. Again, astral, think an astral plane, like just something cosmic and warpy. It's like liquid metal floating out there is what we're doing. Do it forward warp, start to push this content around like big time. And then we will take the bloat tool and we'll emphasize parts, like right here for this part. Bloop, make that look nice and big. Maybe make this even bigger. I'm just having some fun, guys. Hope you don't mind. How is everyone doing? Let's push this out some more. L. as long as it is legible. So typically when you're distorting letters, I don't like to mess with the first and last letter too much because it's going to just become very hard to read, right? Just think about magazine titles. They'll typically never overlap the first or last letter, but they also have a lot of branding behind them as well. Yeah, cool. We could make this much smaller and increase the pressure. So we're going to try this. We're going to increase the pressure. There we go. And I could push this down. I can make it look like it's dripping. I don't know if I want a dripping look because this is supposed to be an outer space. So it's like it should be. What I actually want is I would love to have little spikes kind of coming out of this, like liquid spikes. So we could always work on that. Maybe this will be cool. Maybe it'll be a little weird. But man, I really got this strength of this forward warp really cranked up. Maybe we'll pull this down. Like that. Let's pull up this A. And let's use the pucker tool. Pucker tool is going to like pinch. So we'll pinch just the inside there to make that thinner there on the inside. So the insides of some of these letters just get a little thinner. What? You get the idea. Cling wrap. What are you guys talking about? What are you talking about? So yeah, we're kind of getting somewhere. I think that looks fine. I'll click OK. I can always reconstruct that. That's not bad. Yeah, so envelope distort is fun. I think an envelope, any sort of envelope distort or just your distort in Photoshop. Let's take a look. Your like warp and your distort. Mainly your warp is a little bit more uniform. Like you have a more creative freedom when you're using liquify. So that's what's nice. Okay, so we have these various levels of gray. Okay. And let's just play with this some more. We'll do something like that. But I kind of want to, like, instead of having this being black and white, I want more color to it. From YouTube, can we make anchor points? You can if you use the warp tool. So I can throw a warp on there, and now I get these little anchor points to pull from. But again, it's very uniform, so that's why I'm not going to use it. But actually, let's try this really fast. Let's go to uniform. Let's go to warp. Let's like pull this up and this down. So we're making that part larger. We'll hit enter, and it applies it to the. There we go. But it looks better this way. All right, we tried the thing. All right, so let's throw in a gradient map. Why not? Gradient map on top. We're going to clip it to just that text. And we'll go ahead and add a gradient on top of that. So basically what's happening here, let me turn this stuff off. We can see we get this like electric effect. It's mapping the blacks and whites. Let's see. Let's try to. It's mapping the blacks are going to be on this end. It's changing the blacks to yellow and the whites are blue. So I can reverse this. Click reverse, and it reversed it. You can obviously see what it's doing here. So cool. All right. So what if you'd like to add more yellow in here? Well, it means more adding white with your shapes on the inside. So probably what I would do, and we'll just take a look at all this. We have liquify, filter gallery. Check this out. I would actually jump into here, into this one. We'll go into the layer effects, And for this gradient overlay, we're gonna reverse it. We're gonna reverse it. So it's gonna be dark on the outside and light on the inside. So that's our again, this just takes playing with. Click OK. Boom, we could see that it really brightened it up because we have more whites in there. That's all. Cool. Let's go back into the filter gallery. Take a second look at this. You know, we have our plastic wrap. Here's the plastic wrap, which looks really good. I like that plastic wrap. And then the chrome. So I don't know if you guys have noticed this. I think with chrome, like, I'm taking the detail down to 0, and it still has a lot of detail. I'll take the detail up to 10. I mean, it has more detail, but like a 0% detail still gives you a lot of detail. So that's kind of the situation. Smoothness seems to really help it out a lot. Okay, so we'll take the detail down to 0, smoothness up to 10, and I think we just have a better look for our text. There we are. Shiny, shiny bits of metal. That's right. Let's do, I don't know, should I do flowers? You want to do a person? And we can think about what else to add to it. What else? Yeah, we could add flowers. You know, I kind of have this astral word, and we kind of have this theme going on. So, you know, actually, that's a good idea. Let's just go ahead and take a kind of a simpler element, which I love the contrast that's happening here. And by the way, this is already like very hard to read. But how would we use a chroma effect on an image? It's going to be largely the same process. All right, so let's actually take this. Let's go to filter. We'll go into filter gallery. And boom, there we are. There's our metallicness. Applies the chrome and the plastic wrap, exactly what we had before. Click OK. There's our metallic look. We still want that color to come through. So what do we do here? We'll do J, we'll jump it, we'll get rid of the filter gallery on that one. So we just made a duplicate underneath. And then we can play with the darks and the lights. Usually what it's going to mean is removing the darks. And now we have, actually it's really showing this sort of plastic wrap look kind of coming through. Ooh, overlay looks nice. Soft light. Would love to know your low opacity light behind the word. Yeah, it could even use some lens flares. You know, let's use all those fun tricks. How much is the sub cost to the library? What do you mean sub cost? But yeah, this kind of has a fun kind of shiny plastic look that works with this. Totally works. So let's go with this sort of flower motif. Totally into it. So we'll just search for, I already have a ton of flowers, by the way. Who are we kidding? Who do you think you're talking to here? Yeah, I got all the flowers. Right in here. What if we did like a scorpion as well? A scorpion would be fun. Let's grab a butterfly. Here's all the beautiful flowers. Let's grab a couple of them. And yeah. Maybe this one here. Lens flares, the Paul Trani lens flare brush pack. Oh yeah, I do have that. It's kind of like, it has very much like a cosmic hippie flavor to it, which I'm all about. All right, we're going nuts with the elements. Oh, I love this one. You know it. Ooh, that's beautiful. And let's grab this monarch butterfly. There we are. We pretty much have everything we need. Does that look good? The pastel colors are great. Yeah. This one might be pretty cool. I love this butterfly. Yeah, so editing. We could talk about editing all day long because, like, there's too much going on. But at least I have elements to work with. So let's do it. Let's get to it. Do the thing. Let me think in my brain. Let's think about this. We're going to try this. I'm going to double click on this daisy. Oh, hold on. Let's zoom in on this daisy right here. And let's go to filter gallery really fast. In here, I'm going to turn off Chrome. So Chrome does essentially make it all Chrome. Again, I wish I had color settings, opacity, different things in here. But just applying this plastic wrap seems to work out okay for this project, right? We got our highlights. I'm kind of into that. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Perfect. I don't think I need the chrome, which helps me out because over here for this one did have some chrome to it, but I'm kind of into that. I don't know. I'm just so torn. What about this one down here? There's that one. This daisy. Filter gallery. Play with the levels of detail. Kind of like that. All right. Yeah, so, yep. So Frank mentions legibility. So basically, that's why I went with one word, right? And it was it had some serifs actually, but like legibility is job one. Let's turn that off. Do we have this branch? Let's throw some more plastic on it. Like so. And for this butterfly, we want to make it look like it's integrated more with the seed. We know we changed the colors of the blacks and whites using that gradient map. We want to do the same thing for, let's just try the same thing for that monarch butterfly. Clipping it to that monarch butterfly, we've changed or remapped the colors right there. Okay. Actually, I want to change the colors some more, so I'm going to go into this gradient map color, and we'll just kind of tweak this because we want more yellow. So cranking that, kind of just moving that over, and now we have the pops of yellow in there for this butterfly. Cool. What about a small swirly stem with little buds? I love the ideas. Add a metallic skull. Arby, don't tempt me with a good time. I swear, are you trying to... I'm always doing skulls. I would love to do skulls. I can't. I gotta have more tricks than that, though, my friend. Metallic skull. If I wanted to do a metallic skull, I would actually use a 3D model and I would use Stager. So that's what I would end up doing. We do need an element that kind of ties this all together. So I love the idea of like a swirl type something or other that we can use. Is it a branch? Is it just a distorted branch? That is the question. Right? So it's like everything's kind of floating around here. Like what sort of element can tie it all together? So that's what I'm thinking about. Any thoughts? A chrome ladybug climbing a letter. Ooh, I love the idea of, I actually think that's great. I love the idea of seeing this even larger and having all these little elements intertwining with it. So, I mean, yeah. Yeah, Frank, you're the man. I don't know if I have a ladybug though. I got this guy. He's this. I have a stag beetle. Beetlejace is what it's called. I don't know why. Sorry, Jason. Ooh, this is a nice. Oh yeah, come on now. You know what? This one looks a little muddy. Can we agree? So let's turn off that filter. It seems to have made it a little muddy. That's the only deal. All right, so anyways, we have all of these elements. We'll play with them some more. We'll get rid of that bug. It's just too dark. And let's see what else we have in here. Oh, come on now. Some of these are already like the color I need them. Like, look at how crisp this looks too. Love that detail. Like, that's nice and crisp. Totally into that. But let's get something to tie all of this together. And to be honest with you, I would use Illustrator for this. Because what I want to do is I want to use Illustrator and a variable width stroke. That's what I would do. Let's jump this up to the top. So if you're working with lots of layers like I am off to the side, you could move them up in the layer stack by holding down the command key, open, close bracket. If you do option, hold on, it is actually shift, command, closing bracket, boom. It jumps it clear to the top because that's where I want it. I wanted this to be on top of everything else. So that's just a quick shortcut for you. Shrink that down. And let's get some flowy things in here. Is it a branch? I don't know. Let's take a look really fast. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely use Illustrator for this part. But I also want to play with like more chrome effects as well. So there's a number of things to do. So yeah, let's just jump in here and see what we got. Maybe we will use a brush. Shall we? Try. Hard round, pressure for size, bust out the Wacom. Little Cintiq action. And, you know, do we start playing with the line thickness here? Let's take a look. Right? There we go. So I'm just going to draw in Photoshop, just like some elements, and we'll see how this works out. We're going to increase the smoothing up at the top. So that's going to mean there's going to be a little bit of a delay in what I draw. See how it trails, like so. Let's zoom in on that. Crank up the smoothing. Let's crank the smoothing up to 100, right? So it's going to move really slow. but like this is the thickness situation that I have going on, just like varying levels of thickness for that. Okay. Cool. Whack them with a Wacom. All right, so I have that element. Again, I would probably still use Illustrator, but let's just go ahead and throw a bevel on this. Maybe a gradient overlay. Some of those same elements we've already used from before. And let's map it to those same colors. But actually, let's convert this to a smart object. Go into Filter Gallery. And for this element, we'll play with plastic wrap. Sure, we have our plastic wrap there. And let's throw some chrome on there and see how crazy it gets. Oh, Chrome, you're so intense, Chrome. Just so intense. Detail 0, smoothness all the way up. We'll click OK. There's this little snake element. Let's throw the same gradient map on top of it. There we go. We have that kind of snaky element sort of weaving in and out. Yeah, let's play with this a little bit more. I don't know, guys. We're just going to see what happens. I'm going to remove the chrome and the plastic bag. I'm going to rasterize that layer. And now I'm just going to draw. Okay, so I need more of those squiggly line elements. So B for brush, and we'll come in. Oops, sorry about that hue. Let's get this back to where it was. Okay. Wait for it. There we go. Okay, so I have a gradient map on it. On this layer. And why is this gradient map not? Oh, okay. So glad I ran into this. You ready for this? Michelle, this is huge. Steve, everybody, like, pay attention. Because I think this is important. Let's go back to blue. All right. Come on. Follow my head around. Check this out. Here is the situation. So let me just group a lot of this stuff to flowers. I'm just going to simplify this crazy layers panel just so you can see what's going on. Wait for it. Put this behind everything. Okay. So, grouping this. This is going to be the text. There we go. Okay, I have everything cleaned up. I have this layer. This is our little weird snake warping thingy, right? I have this gradient map. The gradient map, if I take a look at the gradient map, you can see that it's all these colors. But this gradient map applied to this layer isn't really doing anything at all. Why is that? It's because the layer effects are always going to be applied on top of any clipping mask, right? So that's the situation. If I turn off bevel and emboss and I turn off gradient overlay, you could see it actually is applying that gradient map. So that's the situation. How do you get around this? I'm going to try this, guys. I'm not 100% sure this is going to work, but it should. So how do you get around this? How can you have this, like, the gradient map applied to this object, because this gets overwritten by, the gradient map gets overwritten by these elements. So what you do is you create a folder, put this gradient map on top, have this inside. So all it is it's in this little snake line folder thingies, you know, like that. And now we'll turn that on. And now you could see that it gets applied. We'll click, make sure to apply. We can see it gets it applied to that. So that's how you get around the layer styles overriding a clipping mask. All right. So knowing that, it gives me more flexibility because I could jump in here, add a new layer, option drag to apply that to that new layer. I've just created a new layer for fun. And maybe it'll give me more control. And then we'll just play with sort of drawing. But we have these little warpy things like bloop, bloop. These little... Again, we're just playing around, everyone. Like astral. Like these little blobby things. Maybe what we do is we actually even switch the brush. Let's see if we get Kyle's spatter brush. You ready? See if this does anything. Okay, so that's very spattery. Do we like that? No. It's not bulbous like and round and fun enough. So let's just take a look. Screen tones. I just want to play with screen tones. Let's try this. Here's some screen tones with that same effect. What else do we have? Let's go in the concept folder. See if we have like a fun round spatter thing. That's what we're looking for. What do we got in here? Yeah. Oh, splotch filler. Here we go. Splotch filler. This sort of shape. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Something like that. And again, it might not work, but let's just try it out. There we go. We got these little splotchy things. Boop. Boop. Dip, boop. There we go. Just a little splotchy, like, whoa, it's like the text is kind of breaking up. Not to worry, we could apply our chrome to this to make it match even more. But this is going to be just like really, just a really fun element to work with. All right, so that's what we have. Just kind of breaking up. We're having fun. You get the idea. Still need that chrome look, right? Because these are just like, these just have a gradient associated with them. And kind of want to amp it up. You know? And honestly, in order to do that, I'm going to have to convert these to Smart Object. Use that for a mask on the letters. Yeah, Carol, that's a good idea too. Great idea. Totally use it as a mask on the letters. Kind of have it break up. That would be really fun. I really like this bulbous. Like these bulbous shapes are working out really well. So I can still separate these out. Here's our, don't want to lose the name of my brush. So let's just take a look. Splotch filler. So this is our Splotch. And then we have our snake warping thingy. So jump back. In fact, you know what? I'm going to jump in here. Let's zip it up here since I'm really into this brush. And let's put it in my favorites folder. There we go. Drop it in there. Let's go back to my hard round pressure for size. Because we still want some little splotchy things. Little spheres and globules. get some more random blobules in here. Oh yeah. Into it. Take a step back. Blub, blub, blub. That's what I'm talking about. Cool. All right. Let's throw some chrome on here and see if it makes it messy. So, sure, why not? Let's just take these, make them a smart object, go into filter gallery, throw some chrome on top, and maybe this won't work, but we'll try it anyways. Done. Yeah, what do you think? I mean, is that working? Is it hard to see? Should I actually maybe just change this to normal? You know, geez, some of these elements are just bad. Like, look at how much of this is standing out. So again, just going back to editing, you know, maybe I don't need some of these elements. They might not be working. They might just need to be executed in a different way. Because we're losing the type, so I think maybe cleaner is better. We might need a leprechaun. People are really pushing for like green probably for St. Patrick's Day. What it does need is I feel like it needs some dark elements behind the lighter parts of the text. So we're going to go to the background. And let's add some elements. Take the flow down, and we're just going to kind of paint. So I would say, hey, you know, let's make it darker down here. And I was going to show you one other thing really fast, since we only have 5 minutes. I kind of wanted to go nuts, but let's do this really fast. Let's get rid of this. New layer. Actually, no. Need a gradient map of that same color. Was it this one? So look what's happening here. I initially had these two colors. Okay, let's take a look at this. I'm going to actually use this gradient map is going to be the same color as that gradient fill. So let's find it. And that's actually not bad. Where are you, buddy? Here? Yeah. Yeah, anyways. Just playing with around with a gradient map to get something interesting. Is it working? I don't know, man. I'm trying my best here. But we really are at the play stage. Okay, we'll go with that. Wait for it, wait for it. I still have something else to show you guys. I gotta hurry. I swear I accidentally fell upon the right. Okay, well, yeah, let's just go with something like that. Okay. All right, so this is what I want to do really fast. We're going to make something fast. It's going to be chrome-like. We're going to throw in a gradient. Let's pick just a fun one with all these colors. I think this is just really fun to do. Come on, buddy. Moving a little slow. It's going a little sluggish. And no, I haven't saved my file. This one, boom. Here we are. Let's take this. Double click on it. We will have this maybe reflected. Okay, so that gives, like, it doubles the colors. There we are. We're going to convert that to a smart object. We're going to go to filter. We're going to go into liquify. Back where we were, kind of like full circle. And then we're just going to have some fun sort of pushing all this stuff around. Blah, blah, blah. Here's your chrome color. Bop, 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 bop. Zip, 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 zip. Right? You get the idea. Make the brush smaller. And then, even if you mess with it a lot, select your reconstruct brush. And you're like, oh, I need more colors here. Click, it's going to start reconstructing it right there. Let's increase the pressure. And it kind of starts to lighten it up. And then we can push things around again. I wish there was a twirl, but that's in Illustrator. We'll click OK. There's our craziness. And we say, hey, you know what? Do we have that as our background for Astral? Kind of gives us a little more control. Really hard to read, but hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What do you think? You know? Is it working? Let's go back in here. Let's play around some more. There we go. I think I got it. That's fine. Yeah. Anything else I want to work with? Oh, Chrome, by the way. I've done this before. I love covering things at the very last second too. Even when it comes to images, say if I decide I want to drop her in, I usually think what gives things a unique sort of chrome look is using curves, clipping it to that layer, and then giving it mountains, because what did we do when we were adding curves? On the letters, we could do this with people. So here we have this situation, and then we'll typically jump in and we could always sort of paint away parts that don't work out, right? So again, now we have that metallic look on certain parts of her face and maybe not on others, right? So super cool look, gives it that metallic look, and then we can go in and tweak the colors by, again, just adding another gradient map on top. That's what I would do. You know, pick the colors we've been using. Let's reverse them and then play with them some more. Bring in more yellows, like so. Now we kind of have those highlights, and there we are. So yeah, a lot to do. Remove background. Shabam. There she is. And is it a great composite? Absolutely not. Why? Because I now have two elements that are fighting, one for the other. So I would try to integrate this somehow, probably making this a smart object, adding a layer mask, brushing out sort of like, maybe I just need her face, because that's probably what I do, is try to steal just her eyes for this composite and put that somewhere is what I'm thinking. Right? So these will be in the background somewhere. You have those eyes. I would do something like that. So that's all. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Hopefully you learned some things, a thing or two. If not, hey, congratulations. You're better than I am. Because I'm learning anytime I create. And mostly I just learn how to make messes. Can we all agree on that? I can make a mess. Make a mask. It's like make a mess with a mask, because that was sort of my last thing. But is this a cool face that we do somehow integrated, all swirly like? Don't threaten me with a good time. Smart object. Give me another hour, please. Come in here, liquify. So I just start pushing some of that around. and now make it look kind of spacey and stuff. You get the idea. Thanks so much, everybody. Messy can be fun. It got just almost, you can't even read it, especially with that lady's face back there. But hey, a lot of times you'll add, and then start editing, start removing content. But I like the idea of being able to see a face back there that you might not catch initially. So anyways, there's our final. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. That actually turned out pretty cool. I think we had a lot of fun. I know I did. Sorry there's no green. There's no green here, but look, it even matches the color scheme of my video. It's crazy. So yeah, that works. Oh, Afroja, you were too kind. Thank you so much. Thanks, Afroja. Yeah. Clever Devlin, Joanna, Sean. Love you guys. Appreciate ya. And we will see you guys next time. Stick around for more masterclasses coming up. Thanks.